Hello, 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 and welcome to the World Series of Poker Online Bracelet Series. We are here at the final table once again. Thank you, Jeff Platt, for taking us here, and we will be here until we crown a champion. Thanks so much for joining us here, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or, of course, on Twitch. I want to welcome you all to the broadcast. First place, $164,000. We started with 649 players, a $1,500 buy-in here. It's a freeze out, no re-entries, and we have a look at our final 9 players. For one of these 9 players, first place might be a little bit more than 164,000 because 66666, that's Connor Drynan, and he has a well-publicized $100,000 bracelet bet with Daniel Negreanu, who finished in 27th in this tournament and has had a couple of deep runs. Connor Drynan, fresh off a 5-time Scoop championship back in May. So he has been on fire. We get an all-in right out of the gate. I'm David Tuchman. Thanks for joining us, guys. That is Slawil Ryan, who is William Romaine. And William Romaine, actually, interestingly enough, finished 61st in the main event last year. Also won a circuit event last year. So he won a ring last year for 92,400. William Romaine, certainly a player to watch at this table. And it's an interesting table. If you look at the dynamic of the chips, nobody is particularly deep except for the gentleman who is ready to act right now, SPS 8710. And of course, that is Sean Seifert, who is on 5.4 million chips at the start of this hand. Of course, blinds are 50,000, 100,000. Thanks so much for joining us. I see you guys in the chat. Again, 649 players started this. They started with 25,000 chips, 15-minute levels, and here we are. The remaining 9 players, all guaranteed. As you can see, blinds 50,000, 100,000. Players started with 25,000 chips, 15-minute levels. Jungleman, that's right. Welcome to the jungle. He'll be joining me very shortly. You might have seen his video on Jeff Platt's stream. What's up, Mike Munir? Thanks for joining us. Nate Burrows, 3-bet grinder. We are live. CBX 26, the Funky Crusher 420. Vanessa Cade, how are you? William Romaine, all in. Sean Seifert with the raise to 200,000. Now, Sean Seifert, not a huge name here. Ace King versus nines. Could we get our first elimination? Not looking good for William Romaine. Oh, look at that 9-ball corner pocket. Bink. And William Romaine with the big double up to 3.5 million. A huge hand right out of the gate. I feel like the last 2 nights have all been about dramatic rivers. No rest for the weary. We're right back at it. 1 card away from elimination, and William Romaine says, you know what? Stop with the eulogy. I'm still here. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Scooter227. Once again, the jungle, Dan Cates. He'll be joining us very shortly. We got an all-in here on the button. Got a call. Queens, Miguel Fiesta. Looking like he's in pretty good shape. Oops, straight draw. Oh, does not get there. Well, he gets there, but unfortunately for him, Miguel Fiesta has the bigger straight. And just like that, we are down to 8 players. The remaining 8 players guaranteed 18,404. Miguel Fiesta, by the way, up to 2.2 million. That is Michael Leck, who's having a phenomenal series. Every time I look at the leaderboard, Miguel Fiesta is there. Michael Leck is there. He has just under 1.4 million in live earnings. So keep an eye on him. 8 rings. 8. I mean, 8. That's a lot of circuit rings. If I had that many rings, I would wear them all the time. That's just insane. So we've just got a star-studded final table. And I got to tell you, I genuinely try to stay objective when I'm in the commentary booth. But I find myself pulling for Wolverine 17. You might know Wolverine 17's story because Wolverine 17 is Megan Milburn. Probably thinking, wait, I know that name. Why do I know Megan Milburn? All in here. Our chip leader's all in. Megan does not want to make that call. Megan Milburn in New Jersey. She's had a lot of success. She finished 4th in the World Series of Poker Tag Team event. She did that with her mother, which was awesome. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, her recent claim to fame is she was on the other side of that Mike Matusow rant, that ridiculous, completely out of line Michael Matusow rant. It was Wolverine 17, Megan Milburn, who was on the other side of that. And it was her ridiculously witty response that I think made her an immediate fan favorite. So I don't usually cheer for people, but I do find myself like, wouldn't it just be poetic justice if Wolverine 17 won this right here? Once again, if you're tuning in wondering where Jungleman is, you saw the video, you're watching Jeff Platt's show. Of course, Jeff Platt is on each and every night at 10 p.m. Pacific time, and he takes us all the way through to the final table. You might have seen that Jungleman video. He is going to be joining us shortly. By the way, Michael Lex, 8 rings. None of them were won online. He won them all live. So be interesting to see if he can do this live. Obviously, online. He's obviously a great poker player. The 2 big stacks here battling. See how this one plays out. Again, 8 players remain. All of them guaranteed $18,404. You're right. Daniel Cates has 0 bracelets. He's clearly not qualified to commentate on a World Series of Poker event. The guy has, I don't know what, 20 million in lifetime cash earnings. Plays in Bobby's room. Has 2 WPT titles and an EPT. I'm going to go on a limb and say Daniel Cates, Jungleman, is qualified. And according to his video, he is bringing the hatchet. $2.2 million in there. William Romaine in the tank thinking, does he want to call this? Board pairs. I don't know how relevant the 4 is. Still, William Romaine in the tank. Blind still 50,000, 100,000. Sean Seifert back up to 4.8 million. William Romaine down to 2.8 million. To the moon, up to 690,000. Going to take that one down. Just under 1 million chips. 649 players started this journey. And hopefully we will get Jungleman on the line shortly. Big Handsome 647 asking, where is Jungleman? We just called him. He said he was busy. He's going to be back. Lawn Car Poker in the chat. What's up, Lawn Car? How are you? The chip leader. Sean Seifert staying aggressive, but Connor Drynan not having it. Jeff Platt brought this up during his stream, and it's certainly a relevant point. We talk about ICM all the time. We talk about laddering up. And with a lot of kind of medium stacks, you think the chip leader can really push around the players. One player he certainly can't push around is Connor Drynan. Connor Drynan is acutely aware of ICM, but the fact of the matter is first place is worth an additional 100,000 for him. It's such a big pay jump that he really needs to be playing for the bracelet. Levels are 15 minutes long. What's up, Llama? What's up, White Llama? You miss? Mickeldew, CBX 28, Poker Pro 2525. A lot of notables that made some deep runs in this. We'll go through that in a second. Mr. Fuchs moving all in for 890,000. He's up to 1.1 million as he gets that one through. Jungleman, is that you? How are you, my man? Daniel Cates is here. 2 WPT titles, an EPT title. No World Series of Poker bracelets, man. So I don't even know why I called you, really. Yeah. Daniel Cates, the Jungleman, is here, and you have promised to bring the hatchet. So let's hatchet away. I will set the stage for you.
Yeah, you're right. Do you want to see my video?
No, we saw the video, and we'll show the video on. Yeah, we saw the video, and we'll show the video on the break.
Oh,
right now we're just gonna work on. We're just gonna commentate on the final table that's right in front of us.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone's so short.
Yeah, everybody's super short. I'll set the stage for you. 649 players. We're down to 8. Connor Drynan is 6666. He has a bracelet bet, 100K bracelet bet with Daniel Negreanu, which certainly makes some interesting ICM implications. Nobody is super deep, as you say. Blinds are 50,000, 100,000. Levels go up in 3 minutes. You can see the pay jumps on the screen.
Oh yeah.
And here you have it.
Wait, what's the bet and who has it? The 666 guy?
6666 is Connor Drynan, and he has a bracelet bet with Daniel Negreanu for $100,000.
Oh, okay. For how much?
100,000.
Huh?
100,000. 100,000.
That's only if he wins, right?
Yeah, it's a bracelet bet. So you only get a bracelet if you win. That's how it works for the World Series.
Okay, that is actually important to know. So he's got to gamble a bit. It's kind of useful to do, in that he can not worry about ICM. Worrying about ICM is really annoying, and he can just sort of he can just play normal, which is probably good if the bet's big enough. I think there can be a way to make that profitable, but since the other guy has it, it's not really. I wonder if it can be made so that it's profitable for both players. I don't know. Let me think for a second.
You think for a second. You do that. We got Daniel Cates here. Daniel Cates, of course, well renowned as one of the best cash game players over the last, say, 15, 20 years. In 2010 alone, he won $5 million online and won $11 million online before 2014. Plays in Bobby's room. By the way, while you think about it, I'm curious: is winning a World Series of Poker bracelet important to you at all, or no? That's just not even on your your radar.
I don't care.
You don't care. Okay.
I don't care. It's not important to me. I don't like. No one gives a shit if I win a World Series of Poker bracelet. I would think, but I don't care, and I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I don't know. Maybe someone cares.
I care. I care only because I care about you. I care about you, Daniel. You know, I mean, thanks. You and I, we got to hang out in Montenegro and stuff. I got to know you a little bit. I care about you, man.
Well,
But I mean,
well, I
listen,
care about you too.
if it doesn't matter to
Huh?
you, it doesn't matter to me.
All right, sweet.
While you're thinking
Um,
about the implications of this ICM bet, I just want to go over a couple of names here. Ryan DePaulo, shout out to my man. What a great story last night. The guy won a World Series of Poker bracelet while in his car in a Whole Foods parking lot. Did you hear the story, Daniel?
I have not, but I like where this is going. He won it in his car. What?
He won in his car. Well, you know how this works. WSOP.com bracelet events. You don't need to live in Jersey or Nevada, but you physically need to be in the state. So what he did was he drove his car across the state line, parked at a Whole Foods, and started
Uh huh.
playing on WSOP.com yesterday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is when all the bracelet events start. Started at 3 p.m. and played in his car at about say
So
6:40 in the morning. There it is. There's the car. That's where he was, my man.
so
Fast
this
forward
sounds really
many hours later.
uncomfortable.
Yes, right?
I have some questions. What did he use for internet?
I guess he had a hotspot or something. I don't know.
I think he would have like one of those vans from the movies with all these like gadgets and shit. Like I think that would be kind of cool, but not to play in your car on your laptop like that. That looks like a pain in the ass.
I don't know. All I know is at 6:30 in the morning, he's heads up for a bracelet, and Whole Foods employees are like pulling into the parking lot. Right? They're going to work, and he's sitting there parked all night in the Whole Foods parking lot, winning a bracelet. The big thing is not only did he win his first bracelet
That's
last night, but he made a big run today as well.
cool.
People in the
I would
chat
think
want to
he
know
would.
what you're
Yep.
eating.
Cucumber.
Cucumber. Of course, cucumber.
Of course. Why? Of course. I guess that's a.
So
Is that like a jungle food? It's like,
I
huh?
don't know. I mean, listen. Anytime that I get a chance to kind of climb inside your brain, inside the jungle, so to speak, I'm I'm never surprised by surprising answers. I mean, I don't feel like 12:32 in the morning here in California. I don't even know where you are, but where are you?
I refuse to disclose that location.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Either way, no matter
I mean,
where
I've been
you
on.
are,
It doesn't matter.
okay.
Huh?
Regardless of where you are right now, cucumber is
Yeah.
not like a normal snack, but for you it is, which is great.
Yeah. I just had 2 pieces of bread and a cucumber. Probably normal.
Bingo, all in here for 1.3 million. Let's focus a little bit on the poker here. Like I
Okay.
said, you were going to bring the hatchet, so I want to hear some hatchet talk. I want to hear some Jungleman
So
analysis.
I thought it was too early for the hatchet. I do want to say it seems that 666 should be opening more than usual. Let me think for a second. Actually, that I may retract my answer. He in a vacuum he would be opening more than usual, but maybe not into these guys. Yeah, it's not the best group of folks to open more than usual into, just from the stack sizes. It looks like, just because it's not the worst actually. Uh, yeah, I don't like it so much because I
Why?
don't think he should open that much, even in a cash game setting, because Miguel can jam on him, has a pretty good jam stack size. So does Bingo. SPS definitely does. Yeah, SPS can absolutely jam on him, and it's not a big deal. And then the big blinds are quite short, and they have to defend anyway, decent amount, I would think. I mean, let me think about how they should play. They should play well. The medium stack should be somewhat conservative in these spots actually, so he can get away with opening kind of wide. On second thought, most stack sizes should be, but he has to open to the deep stack, which can jam pretty wide on him. And the other guys can still jam on him too. I mean, it's not a great spot to open a lot more, but he should be opening more, quite a decent amount more than stack sizes should be opening there normally with his side bet. His side bet matters a lot.
Slow wheel
Can you just,
Ryan. That's William Romaine. He opened up to 240,000. He's all in there. 4-bet. Miguel Fiesta was the 3-better. Once again, that's Michael Leck. So we got a raise under the gun, a 3-bet from the cutoff seat, and now a 4-bet all in. And it is
let me
about
get,
2 million back to Leck, and he folds.
yeah, we're gonna need this. All right, I have it now. I need to start using it more.
Norman Chad, ESPN says, Jungleman. Norman Chad, by the way, is in the chat. He says, Jungleman, would you show up for your first day of work at Best Buy with a boom box on your shoulder and tell them you are not into electronics or appliances?
That I'm not into electronics and appliances.
Yes.
What do you mean? Isn't a boombox an electronics or appliance?
I think Norman Chad was being ironic.
Oh. I feel like something like that would get me fired. It depends on how. I mean, I would do it, but not, if it was going to get me fired. I would do something like that, as long as, it doesn't result something that would fuck up my life.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Daniel Cage, David Tuchman here. Thanks for joining us. Event in 13, the 1500 no limit hold'em high roller freeze out. We got 649 players. We're down to our final 8. The remaining 8 players guaranteed $18,404. What's up, Brunesti? How are you? Batman 3939. Iverson answers. Clack sick. Thanks for joining us, guys. Miguel Fiesta all in for 1.6 million. Oh, we got an all in over the top from the chip leader. Ace King versus Jacks. There's a set of Jacks. And Miguel Fiesta will fill up on the river and double up.
No, he couldn't have. Yes, 2-color decks. 2-colored. I don't understand the existence of two-color decks, honestly. That really is a giant mystery to me.
It boggles the mind.
Huh?
See, I'm a traditional. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a traditionalist. I like the 2-card deck. I know Jeff Platt is on board with that as well.
Oh my God, no! You just don't understand. Once you get used to the 4-color deck, you can never go back. I mean, you can never go back unless they force you, which they often do. Is the thing. It's a cruel twist of fate.
Our chip leader at the start of this final table, by the way, who is SBS 8710. He's had an unfortunate final table so far. Obviously, a lot of things can change, but unfortunately for him, he has lost 2 flips, both with Ace King. Ace King against 9s, Ace King against Jacks. Tough to win a tournament if that is going to continue happening. But even with that, he still has 3.4 million chips. Sean Seifert, by the way, career live tournament winnings, just $3,600. He has won $171,000 online at 888 New Jersey. So he does play some online poker. He's obviously had some success there. And obviously that is translated here on the World Series of Poker stage. A bracelet up for grabs. First place, $164,000. Jungleman is alongside me in a very metaphorical sense.
I'm big on metaphors. I'm very, very much in the more metaphorical sense.
We got an all-in and a call here. Ace Jack versus Ace Queen. There's the Jack. Wolverine really unlucky there with the Ace Queen. And unfortunately, Wolverine 17, that's Megan Milburn. She is gone in 8th place. She takes home $18,404. We're down to 7. Blind you 60,000, 120,000. What were you saying, Dan?
I want to see some stuff. I want to see some. I guess these guys in the late positions can do some stuff. They can bluff or whatever.
I was going to say, what do you mean by when you say stuff? What do you mean stuff? You want bluffs?
So far, we see like Ace King versus Jacks and Ace Jack versus Ace Queen. Like I want to see some like bluffs or some kind of something not usual.
Something out of the ordinary. I understand what you're saying. I mean, keep in mind, Jungle, that these guys they're playing for a bracelet. They're playing for thousands of dollars.
All the more
And
reason,
in
sort
yeah,
of.
is it? And I was gonna say, and they're really not very deep compared relative to the blinds.
Well, that's a bit of a problem, but it can make sense to bust some moves out when you're playing for a lot of money. It just depends on the circumstances.
Ace six
Yeah,
versus eight. Ace six versus 8-6, and just like that, we
I mean,
have
choice.
Christopher Fuchs, who has a circuit ring, gone in seventh place. He takes home $22,380, and then there were six.
And then there were 6.
Yeah, I'm curious. Okay, so when you say you want to see stuff, I mean, listen, we love seeing fancy stuff. When Jeff Platt made his deep run and came in seventh, shout out to my man Jeff Platt, and he came into the final table. He pulled off a ridiculously sexy check raise bluff on the river, and I love that kind of stuff. You just don't see it very often because of ICM, because of the pay jumps, because of the shallow stacks. But you're thinking, is your thought process that that's exactly when you should be doing it because nobody's expecting it?
Not necessarily. It depends on a number of factors. If you want the serious answer, mm, if you never do it because you're deep in a tournament, that's not right. But it does have to be a bit calculated and can't be overdone for the most part. Although it just really depends is the answer. But when you've got the chips and you're deep, the potential's there. It should happen sometimes. And you just have to catch it at the right moment. It's sort of like looking for a rare breed of animal kind of thing. It's like going on safari and looking for I don't know, your favorite animal like a tiger or something like that.
Right, right, right. You know what? Listen, Daniel, I will say that I feel like I have found my rare breed of animal with you in the commentary booth.
Thank you.
And I mean that,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I,
I like
I
to
was going to say,
imagine.
I mean that with as a compliment. I just live here as a question for you in the chat as we see a pot brewing between Miguel Fiesta, Michael Leck, and Bingu. I just live here says, Jungle, how do you apply the additional value of Connor Drynen's bet with Negreanu to any given opening range?
He should generally be opening wider in a lot of situations. That's a big factor, I would say. Yeah, I would say he just has to open wider because ICM just doesn't matter them as much for him. Although it still matters a bit. Like it doesn't matter at all going from like ninth to eighth. Like it's non-existent.
Once again, thanks for joining us here. We're here each and every day in July. Tomorrow night, we've got a high roller, the 3,200 no limit hold'em high roller, Jack 10 versus Queens. And Miguel Fiesta's Queens are good here. He's up to 4.7 million, and with that
Just
pot,
call.
he takes the chip lead.
That was different. That was different for a few reasons.
Go ahead.
I thought that Bingo was almost universally going to check fold or be very weak on the turn there. It's rare for him to have such a hand in that spot. And I didn't think Miguel had fucking queens. What the fuck? It seems so unlikely.
Yeah, that was he definitely underrepresented his holdings in that spot. To the Moon is effectively all in. Not for much either, just about 5 big blinds. Action right now on Slaw Wheel Ryan. Once again, that's William Romaine. Romaine finished
Actually, yeah,
61st in the main event last year. Go ahead.
The queen's hand makes a lot of sense for sure, actually. No, I like how he played it. Bingo's hand, why not, I guess. It's just not what I'd expect. And it's just it seems fine. Just rare, I would think.
Hey, I love anytime somebody thinks outside the box and makes their opponents feel a little uncomfortable because they're doing things that are a little bit unorthodox, a little unconventional. To me, that's great. Wow, look at this. A 5 big blind shove gets through. That is huge for To the Moon, who is now up to about 800,000 chips, a little bit over, but he is in the big blind.
Well, the queen's play makes it's probably the right way to play it as he did. Maybe he can raise the flop, that seems reasonable, but I think call pre-flop is definitely the best option.
Once again, Jungleman, Daniel Cates alongside me. Cates has won 2 WPT titles, an EPT. He has over $7 million in live earnings, but you're not really a tournament player. You play in Bobby's Room. You play cash games. Obviously, many people know you from the Dirt Challenge when you and Tom Dwan obviously played those that heads-up battle. For a while, Jungle was considered the best heads-up player in the world.
Thank you.
I love one of my favorite interviews ever, Jungle. One of my favorite interviews ever is when you got interviewed on the Triton Tour, and you were asked, what is it like? They were talking to you about playing Phil Ivey, and they asked you. They said, "Well, what is it like to play the best in the world?" And you said, "I don't know. You should ask Phil."
Yeah, I decided to be extra feisty. That kind of question.
I like that a lot. Thanks so much for joining us here. Florida 225, Bluff Teller. You pay for my shoes. Vanessa Cade. Once again, guys, thanks so much here. We are here each and every day. Again, tomorrow, the 3200 No Limit Hold'em High Roller.
What was I thinking about? Oh yeah, Miguel played the Queen's Hand well. That was a good play.
That was the hand. He had queens. Bingu had jack 10 on a 10 high flop. I will say, Bingu did a good job by not going broke in that hand. Top pair. These guys are not particularly deep.
Yeah. Well, he should have done what he did. Maybe he could check flop. Maybe Miguel should raise the flop. Although these are some of these things where, it seems like raising the flop would be good. With the queen specifically, it's rare hand to even do it with, and it's just so good. What was I going to say?
I was going to say, Michael Leck just raised out of the small blind. He takes that down. He's up over 5 million chips. By the way, this is Leck's 7th cash of the series. I mentioned earlier that he has been on fire. Every time I look up, he's making a deep run. And here, obviously, his deepest run as of yet. Leck, by the way, finished 138th in the 2019 main event. Wow, Paul DeWald, who is to the moon, also ran deep in the 2019 World Series of Poker main event. He finished 180th. So we have 3 players at this final table who all made at least day 5 and I think possibly day 6 of the World Series of Poker main event last year. Fairly impressive.
This Miguel guy should be playing very aggressive. Mostly pretty aggressive, I would think. At least into SPS guy.
Well, he's taking your cue because Bingo has opened and Miguel Fiesta 3 bets, and he's now up to 5.7 million. By the way, pay jumps here. The remaining 6 players guaranteed just a tad under $30,000. But now the pay jumps really get serious. 10,000 to survive 1 spot. Another 26,000 if you can survive 2 spots. There was a question in the chat, and I think everybody really wants to know. We got an all-in here for To the Moon. To the Moon, again, that's Paul DeWald. Gets it through up to 961,000. They want to know, do you eat the cucumber with the skin on or skin off?
What? Can you say again?
Do you eat the cucumber with the skin off or skin on?
Why would I? It seems crazy to eat it with it off. I'm not. That seems really crazy. What do you do? Peel it off? What the fuck?
You can peel off. You can peel off the skin. In fact, I will tell you that, my kids, if they're going to have cucumber, they would like the skin peeled off. This is a thing. It happens.
This seems.
I don't think it's that.
This seems like a massive pain in the ass. I would prefer my cucumbers to be as convenient as possible.
I get it. Too much work for not a big enough payoff, right? So you're probably not a fan of like crawfish, for example. That's a lot of work for a little meat, right?
That doesn't sound very appealing. I don't really like the whole work for a little bit thing. That's not my style. I like to, I prefer a little bit of work for a good payoff. I think Miguel should be playing quite aggressive right now.
And he is up to 6.1 million chips, but the Conor Dryden shove gets through. Earlier on this year, I had the privilege and pleasure of commentating on the Galfond Challenge. And that was an absolute thrill as Phil Galfond, that first challenge, came back from a massive deficit to eventually win. It was a thrill to be commentating on that. Question for you from O'Dus is, ask Jungleman about the scheduled challenge you have with Galfond. Obviously, you did a mini challenge and you lost. We get an all in here from Bingu. Nobody calls. Are you going to be? Are you playing more against Galfond, or is that it? Did you lose? Did you tap out, or is there going to be a second challenge with him?
So far, I've lost, but the best is yet to come.
Yeah, if you guys missed the video after he lost, he had to put a video out there saying that Phil Galfond was a better poker player than him. Ace King versus Ace 8. Connor Drynan down to his last card, possibly, and he is. No 8 on the river, and Connor Drynan will have to wait another day for a bracelet. He'll come in 6th place, take home $29,964, and Daniel Negreanu can breathe a sigh of relief. No doubt about that. Blinds are 80,000, 160,000. As I was saying, when you lost, you had to come out and make a video saying that Galfond was better than you. You went into a whole sort of Falcon thing. I don't even want to get into it. I don't know what it was. Trip jacks for both players. The 10 is playing. Not anymore. Full house. Jacks full of 4s for both players. Let's chop it up.
There's nothing weird about that play. The other play was normal too. Should I say that the plays? Should I explain them when they're normal? I just feel like I should just say they're normal or pretty normal. The guy just has like ace offsuit and he's all in, like whatever.
I'm not good. I'm not here to censor you, Daniel. I want you to be
I'm gonna
you.
say whatever.
Yeah, you be you. I mean, if you want to, if people want to hear, people want to climb inside your brain and know how what makes you tick. So please go. Let us know what you're thinking.
That will be given by what I say and what I don't say. Also,
by the way, we're down to 5 players.
I don't need to talk about obvious plays.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, you don't need to point out the obvious when it's like, the guy should have raised with ace king and that guy should have called with queens. So I think at this point, the vast majority of our audience, we have a very sophisticated audience, okay? Really, really sophisticated. And
really? Really sophisticated? Like how sophisticated? Yeah. Like
I would say on a scale of like 1 to 100, I would say like an 87.4.
Oh shit! So they're using extensive vocabulary and they maybe wear monocles on occasion. Are we talking that level of sophistication?
Certainly possible. What just fell? Are you okay? Did you break a bone?
Do they know a lot about fine wine?
Probably. Well, I mean, they've been following the Jeff Platt streams, and Jeff is every single night, 10 p.m. Pacific time, on his channel, which is twitch.tv/Jeff Platt. It is Pinot Poker Platt every single night.
This might be embarrassing, but I don't know who Platt is, other than he won some tournaments. But no, he's great.
He's a great commentator. King 10 versus 6-3. There's a king. There's a 3, a 4, a 6, a 3. No, 9 of clubs.
Damn it.
Miguel Fiesta had a lot of outs there.
I just wanted to see the stupid hand win. No, I mean, he played it fine. It's just I just wanted to see it win. That's all.
Yeah, the stupid hand almost won. Had a lot of outs.
That's just the joy. Those are the little joys, okay? It's just brings me joy to see 3-6 of diamonds win sometimes.
OWCHS says, didn't the 6-6 guy play in a $1 million tournament? Yeah, Connor Drynan infamously played in a $1 million tournament and was eliminated in that with aces against Carrie Katz. Aces. The 4th heart on the river.
Share of himself or something. Like, he bet like an enormous amount on himself, but I don't recall if that's accurate. This guy should be shoving very wide there. Yeah.
I was going to ask you actually, with To the Moon only having 6 big blinds, Bingu, SPS 8710, Slaw Wheel Ryam, they're kind of just they're handcuffed. They can't really do much when Miguel Fiesta plays it aggressively, right?
You
They have
mean
they have to have a hand.
bingo and that's not really true. That's not really true. I mean, they're handcuffed. I mean, they're. How do I say it? I suppose a more appropriate way to say it is to say, it's not whether they're not like totally wearing handcuffs, but like just imagine that they've got handcuffs on, but they've got like some, they can really wiggle it through if they push hard enough. And Miguel can't always like be watching them, kind of thing. They've got the handcuffs on, but they're not super tight. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's take a
That's
let's
my
take a moment or two to there are some nights where I try to pay a lot of attention to the chat. Obviously, with Jungleman here and with the poker in front of us, I haven't been paying as much attention to chat. Let's get a chance to look at that here, though. Killer B Gambling, Ryan DePaulo, man, what a score he had. And by the way, another deep run today. Some notables who made some deep runs today: Jason Somerville, Max Pescatori, Ricky Guan, John Turner, Chris Moorman, Sean Deeb, Anthony Zeno, Chris Ferguson, Daniel Negreanu finished in 27th. But Ryan DePaulo, what a story from last night. We already talked about it for a little while. Won a bracelet while in his car in a parking lot at Whole Foods in New Jersey. Just an amazing story there. Jungle Man, have you been playing much poker lately? What's going on?
I've been taking up acting and improv lessons.
Seriously?
Very speculative. Yes. Very seriously, as it turns out. I may play some WSOPs. I just don't think it's really worth it to grind too many random games.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm now I'm a little bit intrigued here. So what made you get into acting and improv? And is there a future for this? Are you leaving poker and going to pursue acting?
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think I need to leave poker. Like poker isn't polarized. The whether I'm in poker or not isn't it's not a polar decision. Let's put it that way. Like you don't like
Right.
let me think of a better way to explain it. So I think that learning acting and improv is essentially better for my persona. And it's possible. It's more interesting to me to do something like acting. Let's put it that way. And improv, it's partly for my own. It's sort of for my own personal development in a way, and I'm trying to do some other things as well. So I'm trying to build a new career path that is not independent. Excuse me, that is independent of poker to a bit, but is not what's the word? It doesn't preclude poker, I think is the way to say it. Like poker's not, you don't need to be hired to play poker. You can just decide to play some tournaments or whatever.
No. Listen, at the end of the day, Jungle, at the end of the day, that's what's great about poker. I mean, there's, contractors and lawyers and doctors and actors and musicians and athletes, and you can do whatever you do and still play poker. And for the vast majority of the world, that's what they do. They've got a job, they do something else. Poker doesn't necessarily define who they are. They just happen to play. There's a very, very small minority of people only play poker. So there's no reason why you can't pursue your dream of being, I don't know, the next Tom Hanks or somebody like that.
I think that's pretty far away. If there's any possibility of that, I might pursue that. But for me, the payoff of pursuing acting is not as asymmetric. I mean, it's not so as extreme as like I have to be like really good at it, right? It's just I think it's like good to develop these like certain kinds of sides of myself through acting, essentially, and it's kind of an exciting pathway to take. Let's put it that way.
I can get that. I mean, listen, even if you don't want to be an actor, having the ability to be quick on your feet and improv is a great life skill. So it certainly makes sense. Players are back. Blinds are 80,000, 160,000. We're down to 5 jungle. Each player is guaranteed 40,599. First place is 164,000, and of course the bracelet. I set the stage for you. How do you see the next 30, 40 minutes going at this final table? And if you were each particular player, what might you do? We get an all in here from William Romaine.
Well, To the Moon has to gamble a lot. Let's see. The medium stack, it's not too hard to figure out. Miguel can't be that crazy because this Ryam guy has similar stack. And he does seem to have a good position, though, because I think he has a good position because he's got the 2 medium stacks. You're kind of in an annoying spot. There's a short stack right there. The medium stacks have to be pretty conservative. I mean, there's nothing not too many surprises.
Right. Yeah, big pay jumps, of course. 16,000 between 5th and 4th. 37,000 between 5th and 3rd. Of course, this was a $1,500 tournament prize pool, 924,000. 99 players got paid. Each of the min cash was just over $2,000. Get a raise To the Moon, pretty much going all in here.
There's no choice.
This is a 4 big blind shove, and it gets through. Hey, from a mathematical perspective, Jungle, what is the least amount of blinds somebody can have in that situation where you just have to call no matter what 2 cards you have?
I actually don't know the answer to that.
Look at that. I stumped you. I like it.
I'm a creature of pure feeling spots. Probably something like 2 to 1. 2 to 1 you have to call, but it's not. There's no way that's a cutoff point. Oops, why did I do
that? I can't answer that question for you. I don't know. Get a raise here from Miguel Fiesta. That's Michael Leck, who's making his 7th cash of the World Series of Poker online bracelet series. The other big stack calls out of the big blind. Flop is 7-6-5. Rainbow. What's your game of choice these days, by the way? Are you, obviously you came up playing, heads up, no limit, but obviously now that you play in Bobby's room, you play all the games. I know you play short deck as well. Do you have a favorite game? Do you have a best game now?
I have a secret best game, but I was relatively the best at short deck. I don't know if I am now, but I'm still pretty fucking good, I would guess. Probably probably just pretty damn competitive at a lot of games.
I assume you're always a games player, strategy games, all sorts of things like that. Another raise for Miguel Fiesta as he approaches the 7 million chip mark, putting some distance between himself and second place. Michael Leck, once again, with 8 World Series of Poker circuit rings, 1.4 million in lifetime earnings. Again, this is his 7th cash of the series. He's looking for his first ever bracelet. Will he do that today? Get a raise here from William Romaine. Connor Drynan is not still in.
I like how if there's a big side bet on the table, it's like a big deal if the guy who has got the big side bet is in or not. I mean, no one ever says, "Oh no, bingo is not still in" or whatever.
So in fairness, it's also right. In fairness, it's also Connor Drynan, who's coming off 5 scoop titles in May, and he's obviously a huge name in the poker world. I'm going to go on a limb and say, if it's just some random guy who has a bracelet bet with some other random dude and we don't know about it, nobody cares, right? This is interesting. So
Yeah,
we've got some action
I
here, and
I didn't
William
expect.
Romaine is going to get that through. Yeah, William Romaine put a lot of his stack at risk, and he's up to 5.6 million. He is right next to Miguel Fiesta.
Yeah, that was an unlikely series of actions. That doesn't happen very much.
No, but I mean, the one thing I will say though is Slaw Wheel Ryan, which is William Romaine. He has a circuit ring. He strikes me from watching his play at this final table. It certainly appears on the surface that he is less influenced by laddering up. Ace deuce versus fives, and
Is that
the
a good
ace
play? I
holds.
don't know if that is a good play. Let's see. That doesn't seem. Yeah, it probably is actually. Yeah, that's a good play.
Limits are up, by the way, 100,000, 200,000. Anyway, I was about to say here, as Slaw Wheel Ryan takes the chip lead with 6.3 million, and we are now down to 4 players. He strikes me as William Romaine has certainly appeared to not care as much about laddering up. He seems to be going for the win. I mean, right out of the gate, he gets it all in with nines. Obviously, he was short stacked. I think that was probably a standard play, but nonetheless, willing to put some chips out there, and also willing to battle against the chip leader. Here you see him 3-bet Miguel Fiesta.
These guys don't give a fuck. I mean, this is pretty. Well, let's hope that's true. Maybe they just have it.
Maybe,
I
or
really hope
maybe,
they
hey,
just-
maybe they're doing
Huh?
what you want. Maybe they're doing what you want, and you just can't see it. Maybe they're doing quote unquote stuff.
Yeah, I really hope so. You should shove pretty wide there. Yeah, from very.
Yeah, blinds 100,000, 200,000. Not a ton of chips at the table. As you can see, Bingo is just about 6 big blinds. Miguel Fiesta gets a walk. Jungleman alongside me here. Jungle, how's your 2020 been? You been holding up okay?
It's been pretty terrible. I think terrible is the right word to describe it. Let me think for a second. Relatively speaking, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to actually have a bad life, so I wouldn't go that far. But as far as like bad stuff that's been happening, a lot of bad stuff has happened. Let me think for a second.
Got it all in here from SPS Seifert, who was the chip leader at the start of this final table, overwhelmingly, but very unlucky. He lost ace king to nines with a 9 on the river. That by the way, was Slaw Wheel Ryan, who was just 1 card away from being eliminated, but he hit that 9 ball. Then he got ace king again in against Miguel Fiesta. Fiesta had jacks, and once again, Seifert was up against a set. This time it was a set of jacks. So he lost 2 flips at this final table, and he's still here. So give him credit for that. Ace 5 versus 6 is a set of 6s. A 4? No, not a 4. 10 of clubs, and it looks like we are down to 3. Bingo gone in 4th place. He'll take home $56,599, and we're down to 3 players. Jungle, you getting excited?
Let me think. I'm just thinking about what these guys should do. I think SPS should play fairly tight on the button. And why is he? Yeah, I think he should play pretty tight on the button, but I would say so. He has to play pretty tight on the button.
Why?
Because, well, he's not that short that he has to gamble a lot. And this is the most ICM vulnerable situation there is, or it often is anyway. And, well, I don't know how these other guys play it. He should gamble, but he can be reshoved on a lot. And, yeah, he's just not short enough to really gamble or shove too much, basically, and he just has to play tight. Yeah, I mean, just he gets too much shorter, he'll have to start shoving. But
We got 1.3
I'm not like
million in the
super
pot here.
expert. Know that
4 diamonds, board is paired. Just looking at the hand here as William Romaine, slow wheel Ryan has bet, gets called. Wow, what a call there with a pair of 10s on a 4 diamond board. Miguel Fiesta makes that call and is now in the chip lead. Mike Leck vaults himself in front of William Romaine. They are 1-2 in chips.
This guy, what should this guy do? Why can't I think straight? He should, yeah, I don't think he should jam that much. SPS. I'm not like a super expert in this spot, but I do know that it's really easy to make all sorts of mistakes.
No doubt. That is Sean Seifert, by the way.
What's that?
That is Sean Seifert, SPS. He was our chip leader at the start of this final table.
Oh, okay.
Thank you all for joining us. Daniel Cates, Jungleman, with us tonight. I'm David Tuchman. I'll be back at it tomorrow night, July 14th, the 3200 at No Limit Hold'em, Queen 10 versus 8-6, and a big pot there. And this is certainly a significant one, as Sean Seifert has now kind of made himself a player by eliminating Bingu and then winning that hand. He's up to 4.2 million chips, and now it's really anybody's tournament, right, Jungle?
Yeah, more or less. I think that SPS guy Cypher or whatever his name is should have definitely bet 2 streets there. I would think it's not exactly a spot where you can expect the other guy to have you beat kind of ever. It's super rare, I would say. Yeah, I would say it's super rare. So he missed. Looks like he missed value there with the Queen 10. I think that's kind of important. I don't know if anyone gives a shit about that, but I'm telling it.
No, please. Hey, listen, that's why we're here. That's why you're here. You're here. You have been, one of the top poker players in the world for some time. You've got, experience upon experience, and at least from my perspective, and I hope people at home as well, a glimpse into how your brain works and a glimpse into how you would approach this final table is really interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, I think Cypher should not be fucking around too much.
Seifert up to 4.5 million. It is Miguel Fiesta, Mr. Leck, Michael Leck, 8-time circuit winner. He has 8 rings, all of them in live events, looking for his first bracelet.
I think it's important to note that Cypher's check back with Queen 10 was pretty good. He should have not raised in the big blind there, which he did. He played it right.
960,000 in there.
He's gonna check.
William Romaine betting 420,000 into a pot. About $1 million gets called. Pot now 1.8 million. Clubs get there. The board pairs.
So my prediction is if Ryan bets, he has it. And I think that there is a pretty good chance that this guy calls.
Well, it goes check. SPS 8710 was looking for the check raise, apparently.
Flush.
Had a pair of 4s with the flush draw, makes the flush on the river, but was going for the check raise on the river, didn't get the chance as William Romaine checked it back.
He might not check raise actually, but yeah, he probably will.
You're not going to check raise with the king high flush on I know the board is paired, but really?
Well, I didn't say that I wouldn't, but I don't know that he would, and it's not fantastic because it's probably a clear check raise to be honest. But like you can think the other guy's ace high flushes and like, whatever, like mathematically, I'm sure it's a raise, but like factoring in fucking ICM and that shit. It's a bit more annoying. I'm sure it's
Let me
still a
ask.
raise.
Let me ask you this, Jungle. Do you like? I mean, obviously, we know we're trying not to be results oriented. Do you like with that particular hand? Do you like playing it as a check raise on the river, or do you prefer playing it as a value bet? Because he did check call the turn. So do you prefer checking the river and going for the check raise, or would you rather have him let out when the club gets there?
Definitely not lead out. Definitely not lead out. He just has to check. Especially, yeah, he just has to do what he did.
10 on the river, pot is 860,000. And suddenly William Romaine, who was up over 7 million chips, he is now the short stack. But again, such a fluid situation, as you can see, 1-2 hands, and everything is going to be thrown on its head. Pair of tens here, and he's up to 5.2 million. And look at these stacks here. Jungle. Miguel Fiesta's got 5.9. William Romaine has 5.1. And Sean Seifert has 5.1 as well. We have very rarely seen a situation like this with 3 players all so close.
You did see what Ryan called the flop with, right?
Yeah. Wait, was that a little giggle from you?
Yeah. I think it's. I'm not sure if it's okay actually, but it would be okay in a cash game, I think, or close. He had like the backdoor 10 of hearts, and yeah, that's kind of interesting. I think he should bet the turn though. Yeah, I think he should bet the turn. Yeah, he should definitely bet the turn.
I mean, if he's floating with that kind of hand, if he's floating with that kind of hand, he's got to try to take it away in the turn.
Well, he has to decide. We'll see what's going to happen is he has to decide with what bluffs to bet on the turn with and bet on the river, but I think that one just has to be better on the turn in a vacuum. I'm pretty sure. It shouldn't make much difference, but probably just do that on the turn, I would think.
Fair enough. Blinds are still 100,000, 200,000.
Spicy. Huh?
I was just pointing out the blinds are still 1-2. Slow wheel Ryan. William Romaine is raised on the button to 400,000.
Yeah, I guess I'll keep doing this. This could be a slow game.
Hey, a question for you. I'm gonna put you on the spot, but since you brought your hatchet, we got a 3-bet. Got a 3-bet here from Sean Seifert. Back over to William Romaine, who's not against gambling, and suddenly it is Sean Seifert who's back in the chip lead, and I cannot tell you how impressed I am with his play. You know, when you look at poker players and you look at the best poker players, their ability to deal with adversity is so important. And we have seen Sean Seifert here. He came in with the chip lead, overwhelming chip lead, and he loses 2 flips. Think about the last time you played a poker tournament and you lose ace king to nines, then you lose ace king to jacks. That's usually it. You're done. But he has, he has kind of fought through that, and he is back in the chip lead. We get a raise here from Michael Leck. William Romaine is going to 3-bet. Action back over to Leck. Question I have for you, Jungle. Everybody knows that you play in some of the highest cash games in the world. We know you play in Bobby's room. When you walk into the Bellagio and you peer into Bobby's room, you see the superstars. You see the biggest names in poker, right? Who loses money in that game? Who's the fish?
Let me see. Let me think about how I should answer that.
Yeah, you think about that. You said you're the one who made a video and you said you brought your hatchet. Okay. So I normally would not ask a question. I normally wouldn't ask a question like that because I know a pro would never answer it, but you brought the hatchet. So I'm wondering who loses in that game. When I peer into Bobby's room and I see those superstars, I see the biggest names in poker, and I'm thinking, man, who's losing? But the game doesn't go unless there's a spot. I know that.
It depends on the season, and that's not true, by the way. That part is not true, because that last part about the spot is definitely not. Well, it kind of is true, but it's kind of not true, because what happens in mixed games is everyone starts. Well, this happens to some degree, right? It never really happens. There's like some kind of gradient where it happens, right? Where everyone there's like a handful of people that like think like some of the other handful of people suck or whatever at like whatever game, and everyone's kind of a semi-fish, right? That's not true. Excuse me. Some people are semi-fish, and some people aren't. And and that's what it is. That's what a game's supposed to be. Is where multiple people think multiple people are spots, and this is like kind of what circulates the game for a while. The situation results in the game lasting for some time. And that's happened to some degree a lot. There's a few people that are like legit spots, and then that happens. It's the circle of poker life is what I'm describing to you in
No,
a
I
nutshell.
get it. I get it. I mean, people overestimate their ability. Maybe they underestimate other people's ability. And, I understand how the game continues to go, but I'm still waiting for you to point out who those legit spots are.
Um, well, the problem with me doing that, I have
Pocket
to think
nines are
of
good.
I have to think that through for a couple of reasons.
Okay, you think that through. I'll
I
call the
can't think
action.
of anyone that makes sense for me to declare. I should mention that when I was there, there were a couple times where Talal played, and everyone was the spot. Let me just say that everyone went but Talal. Like that definitely happened.
He's that good?
There have been a few times where, well, whoever the spot is depends on the whims of the poker fucking gods and whatever the fuck they decide, because that's just how it goes for a long, long time. Let me tell you that. It's there's shitloads of variants and whatever. So maybe that answers your question.
How high are you playing in Bobby's room during the summer? Like during the normal World Series of Poker, normally you'd be in Vegas right now. You'd be playing in Bobby's room. How big is the game get?
The biggest we ever played was 10,000, 20,000, which is a how big was that? That's like a fort. No, that's bigger than that.
That's a lot of money.
We had like multiple millions on the table, maybe up to two. I mean, I guess someone might have had like 2 million. I guess, which is mostly people didn't. That was too big. That game was just not solvent, I think is the word. But very commonly 3,000, 6,000 was played. So six
Oh,
hundred
that's
thousand dollar
nothing.
buy-in.
3-6. Come on.
Just
10-20.
casual
That's
three
a big game.
six.
But 3-6, yeah. What's 3,000, 6,000, right?
Yeah, just casual 3-6. You had the usual suspects. You had for some
This
people
is an
that's like
interesting.
not that much money. Huh?
That was an interesting. That was an interesting hand there. Both players on what was a very straight board. Neither player, I assume, that Michael Leck, Miguel Fiesta thought he had showdown value with Ace High, and maybe Slow Wheel William Romaine thought the same thing with the King High. I don't know, or just thought he just couldn't get the bluff through. Nonetheless, though, I thought it was an interesting hand. And as we see, Miguel Fiesta now up over 7 million chips, putting a little bit of distance between him and the other two players.
Yeah, I think if I was in Ryam's shoes, I would make it fucking big. Uh, that's what I would personally do. I would bet just big. I don't care what size really he uses. There are multiple acceptable sizes. I would just personally make give Miguel a decision that's either like you're either gonna man up and fucking call this, or you're gonna get the fuck out of the way. That's what I would do. I would bring the hatchet out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we
If I
we we
I could
know we know about your
huh?
hatchet now. I'm actually just surprised you have a hatchet. Where did you get that
I
hatchet,
got a
and why do you have
hatchet.
a hatchet?
I got a hatchet for doing this this sort of mix of the Navy SEALs. Well, they use some Navy SEAL stuff and some other Army stuff in it, and it's kind of like this life training course that's supposed to be a self development kind of thing, and it's supposed to
Right.
be notoriously tough. Usually half the people quit, and
So
for
are you
competing
doing
it, we
kind of
got a
are you
hatchet.
doing like a boot camp thing?
I did a boot camp thing already.
Okay.
And it was fucking tough. It's supposed to be tough, and like half the people quit, and half
Did you
some
quit?
grown
Did you
ass
get
men
through it?
quit.
Did you get
I
through
did,
it?
yes. Yeah, I fucking
Okay.
earned this hatchet. Like no one
Well, there you
ever
go.
can. Yeah,
Well,
you're
let's
gonna
see if
sport
Michael
my
Leck can
hatchet now.
earn this bracelet. 8 circuit rings to his name. That's Miguel Fiesta. His seventh cash of the series is looking for his first ever bracelet. Again, 8 circuit rings.
See if you can earn
But
the bracelet.
he's looking for that first bracelet. That's for sure. Get a raise here on the button. Blinds are 120, 240,000.
So does
Get a
only
3-bet
one
here.
person at this table have a bracelet?
I don't think anybody at this table has a bracelet. Sean Seifert has $3,691 in career live tournament winnings. Now he did win. He has 171,000 online over at 888 New Jersey. Michael Leck does not have a bracelet, and I am fairly certain that William Romaine does not have a bracelet either. So yeah, no bracelets here. William Romaine does have a circuit ring as well. So we have 9 circuit rings, one among these 3 players, but no bracelets. So was this boot camp? Was it run by? We got an all in here. Was it run by the Navy, or was this
No.
just like okay?
No, it's run
It was
by
just
Bedros Kilian or something. He's got his own franchise, and it's like a self-help thing run by his thing, but it's also very fitness oriented.
we
He
should
does a
do.
lot of stuff in fitness. Successful entrepreneur.
Jungle, you and I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to do a tough mutter.
What?
Hey, did you just turn your? Did you turn the volume on or something?
Huh?
Did you turn volume on your computer?
No, why? What's up?
No, there was an echo, so I thought maybe it was your computer. Anyway, I've been thinking about doing a tough mutter, and when all this COVID stuff is over, you want to do a tough mutter with me?
What's a tough mutter?
It's like you do like 10 kilometers, a bunch of obstacle courses. You get dirty. You got to climb over things. You got to climb through things.
I'm not entirely close to it, but probably not is my guess.
Fair enough.
This thing
Showers. I just
was
got guys in the chat. I got showers. I asked Jungleman on a date, and he said no, straight out no, not with you, Tuchman.
I didn't say no. I gave you the I said most likely no. I wonder
Yeah,
if that's like an
listen.
answer.
I think that's a
No
no.
girl's ever answered that. Like most likely
Yeah, that's
no.
a
It's almost
no, dude.
useful.
That's a no.
It is a no if they say that, but no one's ever said most likely no. They could say that actually.
Yeah. Thank you
Come
for
to think
joining
of
us,
it,
everybody in the chat who is still with us,
maybe
watching this
disagreement, but
3-way battle, and get a little bit of a glimpse into the world that is Jungleman.
it would be funny if dates start saying like really truthful answers, but people just don't work that way.
No, they don't. They don't. 3 deuce
Some
deuce.
people do actually. You'd be surprised. I've met some weirdos.
That's rich. I like that. Michael Leck, by the way, our chip leader with 8.3 million, has really put some distance between him and the other 2 players. But of course, if either one of his opponents were to double up through him, they would be the chip leader. So still very much up in the air, this bracelet. Of course, $164,000. That's first place. These 3 players guaranteed 77. So you can do the math and figure out a huge difference here between third and first. King 10, pair 10s on the turn. Good for Michael Leck. And he's up to 9.3 million now.
Strange check. Don't like that check, I'm pretty sure, with the King 10. Yeah, that's a strange check, but pre-flop he played fine. I'm not expert enough pre-flop to say whether his pre-flop decision is okay. Did Ryam raise pre-flop or no?
I did not. I did not see, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, his turn check. I'm gonna have to veto the turn check.
Veto. Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us here. Event 13, the 1500 no limit hold'em high roller freeze out. We've got a raise from Sean Seifert, takes it down. He's up to 4.2 million. Michael Leck still our chip lead with 8.4. Again, we started with 649 players. We are down to our final 3. All these players will take home at least $77,000. Of course, first place, $164K, and the most coveted piece of jewelry in all of poker. King 8, Ace 9. Here's the all in. Ace 9 survives, and we continue on 3-handed. But That's certainly significant. William Romaine now up to 7 million. Sean Seifert down to 700,000, or just
Well,
three bigs.
so much for that, I guess.
You say that though. A couple of nights ago, Chance Corneth was heads up for a bracelet with 1/9 of a big blind. Does he hold here? Queen high is good right now, but not anymore. Unfortunately for him, he hits a 7 on the river, and Miguel Fiesta makes the 8 high straight, eliminating Sean Seifert in third place. He'll take home $77,000, and we are heads up for the bracelet. Miguel Fiesta, Michael Leck versus Slaw
Oh,
Wheel Ryam, William Romaine.
that's
And
pretty funny
the
with the
giggling
cash
in the
on the table.
background, that was funny?
No, no, no. The cash on the table is funny.
Oh, okay. Right. That's real money, by the way.
What do you mean real money?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I
I was
wasn't
telling a
sure.
joke.
Oh, okay.
It clearly wasn't funny. If I have to explain a joke, it's never funny. I learned that.
I don't know.
Three
I
bet
don't know if they
grinder
should make
says
it tackier or what. I don't know if they can.
3-bet grinder says hi mom and dad.
That's so stupid.
Somebody asked in
So
the chat. Somebody asked you a
huh?
question in the chat. What is your favorite size bet that is larger than the pot?
I like 1.5 times pot. I think it's pretty useful.
Is that something that you've always had in your game, or is that something you've incorporated relatively recently? We got an all in here and a fold. In terms of
No, I've been doing that
sizing.
one for a while, for a
Yeah.
long time, but not forever. I remember the sort of evolutions my game went through. I did that one as soon as like kind of people started using some sims. Most people were not really using overbets, and they were using more conventional sizes for sims for a long time. Even today, that's kind of true. But there's a lot more people that use some overbets than there used to be.
Got a raise here on the button, a 3-bet from Michael Leck, and another fold. Aggressive play here from Michael Leck. 8-time circuit winner. He has 8 rings. William Romaine on the bottom of your screen with 1. Both of these players looking for their first bracelet. They're also playing for the difference between first and second, which is $54,000. And all in here and a fold. Hey, Jungle, I'm just curious of your take. As somebody who's been dominating the game for as long as you have, do you hate all the solvers and all that stuff that where people can, with software can kind of get a shortcut to catching up to you? Or do you
You
not mind
know,
them at all?
I have not previously minded them, but I probably should hate them because let me think about that. I'm sure that it has not been good for me because the longevity of the games should go up the less technology there is, which would have been good for me, assuming that I can beat the games without such things, and there's quite a bit of evidence for that. So I should hate them.
Yeah, I would assume that you would hate them. We get a raise and a call, queen high flop, 2 hearts out there. Once again, Miguel Fiesta, our chip leader at 9.5, about a 2-to-1 chip lead over William Romaine, a little bit less.
It seems that relatively speaking, they were worse for me than just no solvers. So I should hate them.
Right. I mean, there's a select number of poker players out there that if you were to invent a new game, they would be quicker to pick it up really quick. Quicker to pick it up really quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would be quicker to dominate that particular game. They would figure out the nuance of the game, where the edges were, so forth and so on, how to exploit their opponents. And then there are other poker
Yeah.
players out there that put a lot of work into the game. And I'm not suggesting you don't, but I'm saying there are a lot of people out there that put a lot of work into the game. They study, they use solvers, they read books, whatever they need to do to get better at the game. I would
Well, why
imagine,
not
though,
do?
with all the solvers out there, that can't be good for somebody like you who's just naturally gifted.
Well, I think a lot of my natural gift or whatever, if you want to say, was from I don't know if I really was. It feels like natural gift is a little bit relative, to be honest. And definitely a lot of my natural gift was just like learning, was really just like developed over time, frankly.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, no,
Got an all in.
work.
Hold on
I
a
don't
second. We
know
got an all in
really
here.
how it works. That was a very surprising play, but also a good one. It's good to be able to have this play. Um,
What kind
it's
of
good to
hands
be
is he
able to
doing
do
it?
this sometimes.
What kind of hands is he
Big
doing it with?
draws, some value hands. No, this is a good play to do sometimes. It's not done enough, and he has to do it quite a bit. He should have big draws and stuff. What was I thinking about?
We were talking about
Fuck, I haven't thought
natural
about this stuff
ability.
in a long time. Huh?
We were talking about natural ability and people able to, maybe catch up a little bit quicker simply because they have solvers and software and so forth.
I think that those things aren't so mutually exclusive. And
Okay.
I also think that it's kind of ridiculous. Well, I want to say that I think a number of players decided to polarize themselves on one end of the spectrum or another. Um, Not everyone. Most people didn't make that mistake, but that I think is kind of ridiculous. Like I think it's valuable to just be able to adapt and do both. Or excuse me, it's valuable to be able to adapt and be able to look at things from multiple perspectives. Let's put it that way.
Daniel Cates alongside me here for commentary. We got an all in. Michael Leck has William Romaine covered, but it's a lot closer than it was just a few hands ago. See if he gets this one through. He does. 9.7 to 6.4, about a 3-2 chip lead for Michael Leck over William Romaine. Another stacked final table. Connor Drynan made this final table and had a shot. He and Daniel Negreanu have a very well publicized $100,000 bracelet bet. And Drynan certainly had a shot, made the final table here, but could not pull it off. Pot is 1.17 million. William Romaine betting, getting called. Jack of Hearts on the turn. Pot is now 1.86 million. Action on Michael Leck. Miguel Fiesta, once again, his 7th cash of the series. And we have had a number of outstanding performances throughout the series, whether it's Poker Guru, who has just been crushing. And by the way, Robert Kuhn, known as Bustin' Balls, he will be joining me for commentary at some point during this week, provided he doesn't make another final table. Ryan DePaulo, just an unbelievable performance from him. I'm sorry, Ryan Torgerson had a 2nd place finish, and then 24 hours later, he wins a bracelet. Spades get there. The board is double paired. Pot is 3.5 million. And here comes a bet from Miguel Fiesta. Yeah?
I don't know about that play. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe this is some advanced shit. Although he's also made plays that were not advanced at all. Or
I
just
think that's
not
my
good.
favorite thing about you. My favorite thing about you is how decisive you are in moments like this.
Thanks. Never heard that before. This one I'm not as one side or the other on. This
Right.
could be good, I guess, but it's highly suspicious. I mean, I don't know about this one, bro. It seems like there's a high chance he's bluffing.
But what I mean, he had to check call though. What is he check calling with to get to this point? Well, a 4. How's that?
Oh, that was the most obvious call in history.
Yeah, obviously William Romaine is never folding a full house there. Does make the call. And just like that, it's now William Romaine with a 3-2 chip advantage. Maybe a little bit less. It's 9-7 right now.
Yeah, I was looking at that at a vacuum. It might be a play. It might be a thing. And then it just seemed speculative coming from the same guy who checks back King 10 in a single raise pot twice, and I don't know, maybe he made another play that.
So he
It's a little
flopped two
weird.
pair. I mean, he had a 4 in his hand. If you wanted to bluff with that particular hand, would you rather have played it as a check raise bluff or just give up?
I personally would not lead the river. I would have checked, and you could check raise, I guess. Yeah, check raise seems reasonable.
Pot's 1.8 million. Michael Leck betting half the pot, 666,000 to call. William Romaine does make that call. Third spade on the board now. Pot is 2.5 million.
I think Ryam's bet on the flop before with Jack 9. I don't really love the way he played it, but it seems okay. This play seems really suspicious as something like, I don't know, something not very good. That's my guess, but it's less clear in this spot. He's not really. I don't think he's using many sims for his play, so I'm going based off of population reads for when people do certain things, and people usually fall into certain categories.
Once again, Daniel Cates, David Tuchman here.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead. I was just resetting. Jungleman, Tuchman here for the World Series of Poker. This is event 13, the 1500 No Limit Hold'em. We're back at it tomorrow and each and every night in July. Some other people, other guests that are slated to join me. I mentioned already Robert Kuhn, Poker Guru. See if we can get Ryan DePaulo on as well. David Baker, see if we can get him. Max Steinberg, also going to join at some point. Pot is 1.65 million. It's 418,000 to call. Two diamonds out there, two spades out there. There's the call. Diamonds get there. And we are virtually tied. 7.9 for William Romaine, 7.7 for Miguel Fiesta. Lines 140,000, 280. From what you've seen so far, Daniel, can you tell if either player has an edge?
It's not clear from the information. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's clear.
Fair enough.
With the information so far.
Pot is 2 million. Leck checks. And he is going to be good here with a pair of sevens.
It's a telling check. It's kind of. A check like that kind of works against the play that he made earlier with the 8-4 offsuit. Like it kind of reaffirms that he was probably bluffing too much with the 8-4 offsuit. The fact that he checked the 8-7 there, but it's not that clear. Yeah,
the fact that he's
got the best hand a lot, really. It doesn't get raised. I think you should just bet. It's just he's made a few plays like that. Well, yeah, not exactly. That's not exactly true. But he's made plays that are kind of similar in that ballpark. A couple of them.
Right.
That's weird.
Are based on what you're saying, I mean, you're suggesting that probably should be betting for value with a pair of sevens there on the river?
Yeah. This guy's play there is a little bit strange, but I can tell you that when people do things like that, what they do on the river tells you whether they have it or not. When they overbet the turn in that sort of spot out of the blue. Like if he bets the river, he has it almost 100% in some kind of way. But I don't know what he has on the turn. That's a strange play.
Well, despite that bluff with the 8-4 and getting snapped off, Michael Leck, Miguel Fiesta is back in the chip lead, just under a 2-1 chip advantage over William Romaine. Leck now up to almost 11 million chips, more than a 2-1 chip advantage as we continue this heads-up battle. Blind still 140, 280. Jungle, I want to thank you for joining us. Anytime, like I said, anytime we can get some insight into how you view this game and life in general is a treat as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Maybe I should write more crazy shit on my blog.
No, you've been good, man. You've been good, but I'm actually impressed. I mean, you brought the hatchet, but you used it sparingly. You've actually been, I think.
Well, I
want to
give respect. I want to give respect to the players, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they made a World Series of Poker final table. That is quite the accomplishment, and I think they deserve our respect. And like I said, I think you brought the hatchet, but you did it in a respectful manner. So.
Yeah, the hatchet has to be out, but if the hatchet will strike on their egos, it'll be because of them. Let's put it that way. It won't be because I've been unfair. The hatchet is fair. Its blade is neutral and just.
I look forward to one day you wielding that hatchet on me, in a figurative sense. All
right, I can figuratively wield the hatchet on you. I don't want to literally wield it on you. That doesn't. It's not.
No, that sounds terrible. I want to live.
Yeah, that sounds.
I'm a dad. I'm a dad. I've got kids, right? I mean, I don't just figuratively we can do that. Blind still 140,280. Thank you all for sticking with us. Baca says, any non-drinkers in here? Hey, this is as good a time as any to start drinking, right? Let's do it. Down the hatch.
Why not? Fuck it. It's either 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. Fuck it.
Or we have plenty. No. Listen. You're completely dismissing.
Morning. Huh?
You're dismissing the rest of the world. It is currently 9:47 in the morning in the UK. It is time for some tea in Europe right now. King Queen 6-7. We got an all in. Oh, open-ended straight draw.
That's a terrible card.
But the spade is an ugly one. Pair of sixes. Gonna do it. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, that was an ugly turn for William Romaine. He needed to pair up or hit a straight card, but it couldn't be the spade. And he hits a pair on the river, and just like that, he is back up to 5.1 million. Michael Leck was one card away from winning the bracelet. Baca says, my sleep schedule. Yeah.
This guy's
you and me.
What the fuck is he doing with sizes?
Too much? Too little? What are you thinking?
Too much, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he's I don't know, like what I feel like the Sims have been out for a while, and it's just strange not to use them at all.
All in, there's a call, 10-8. It's over. It's over. Nobody cares. He doesn't care if you like it, Jungle, because he just won a bracelet. He just took home $164,000. Congratulations to Miguel Fiesta. Michael Leck, his 7th cash of the series. He has 8 circuit rings, and now he has a World Series of Poker bracelet. First of all, I want to congratulate William Romaine, who's obviously a phenomenal poker player. Like I said, made a deep run in the main event last year. Comes up a little bit short here. Second place, $110,000 in his pocket. But when it was all said and done, 649 players entered this, and it was Michael Leck, Miguel Fiesta, who wins it all. Jungleman, thank you very much for giving us a glimpse into your brain, your world.
I want to say one thing, by the way.
Please.
As much as Miguel doesn't care that I said that he didn't play his hand great, he apparently picked the perfect line to get the guy to shove with middle pair. So he's got that going for him. Even though, like, that seems kind of crazy, but whatever. Apparently he knew that the guy would shove middle pair or something. But so he picked the perfect line as it worked out. Even though in a vacuum, I'm not in love with what he did.
Sometimes knowing your opponent and knowing your opponent's tendencies is more important than anything else, right?
That's true. I find it hard to believe that he knew that the other guy would shove middle pair, but if he did, well, I guess he's just on the next fucking level. Let's put it that way.
Next level indeed. Well, you know what, Michael Leck? You can take your game to the next level because you just won yourself a World Series of Poker bracelet, 164K in the bag. Thank you all for joining us. Jungleman, Daniel Cates, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're back at it tomorrow. The 3200 No Limit Hold'em High Roller is happening tomorrow night. You can join Jeff Platt on his Twitch channel at approximately 10 p.m. Pacific time. And then the final table will be here on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on Twitch. Make sure you join us. It'll be great. For everybody at the World Series of Poker, for everybody at PokerGO, for Daniel Cates, Jungleman, I'm David Tuchman. Congratulations to Michael Leck. Good night and thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
So yeah.